How the great have fallen, man. This game was just crazy. It wasn't like that super intense, but like it did have its instances where the players were clinical, and especially Di Maria, in my opinion, was a very clinical player in this game. And Real Madrid just they were just atrocious, man. They have zero shots on goal. That's crazy to see. Supposedly the reigning champs, the best team in the ever on the surface of the earth is what people be saying. I don't even know. They be saying, "Oh, they won 3 Champions Leagues in a row," but that's all a hoax, man. All that stuff is a lie, and you can especially see it now because once Ronaldo left, they had nothing, bro. That's the same team. That's what I'm saying. This is bullcrap. Cause the opinion of saying that Real Madrid before VAR and Real Madrid after VAR is a whole different Madrid, because that's what they depend on. They depended mostly on the refs to help them out, and like that's why I thought it was some type of corruption because these guys were doing all types of shit, where like they were just getting all the advantages, and now you could see them and they have no advantages. They have nothing. And with VAR, even if they did score those 2 goals, the Gareth Bale one, in my opinion, was kind of unfair because that was a good goal, but he did use his hand, and they're not playing around. VAR is not playing around with that stuff, and they'll take it off immediately. So okay, and then the second goal, you could maybe say that Benzema was coming in, and Lucas Vasquez didn't even have possession of the ball, but he was coming in and he was like trying to block the other guy from getting into the play, the one that was running after Benzema. And also, Lucas Vasquez was in offside position, and he was running back. If he just would have stayed still, maybe that would have been a goal. But that's just their awareness, and just like it doesn't even matter. You could just make excuses for everything. But the better team showed out, and like they didn't just show out by a little bit; they showed out with 3. And I feel like it's all Madrid's fault. Like they brought it on themselves. Like you had Navas and you want to keep Courtois because he's a bigger name or European, or I have no idea what type of bullcrap discrimination, whatever you want to call it, you want to put against him, against Navas. But Navas is with the winning team now, and I feel like Paris Saint Germain has a better chance of winning with Navas now than they had before because they actually have a real goalie, and they might even actually be challenging for the Champions League because they're one of the top teams. And they had these workhorses in the midfield with Guaye and who else? Verratti and Marquinhos. Even though they're not like all flashy and attacking and whatever, but they're workhorses. They get the ball back. They fight for it. They don't allow the opposition to have possession, and they're on them once they have it. So like that was the difference, They were controlling the midfield from the get go, and once they get the ball, they do the little passes and they get it to the attacking players, which is what you want to have, and it's what Madrid doesn't have. For supposedly the only defensive midfielder in Madrid is Casemiro, and other than that, there's no one else. Everybody else is offensive, and you could say Modric wasn't there or whatever, but that's another hoax for me. Modric is just, what is Modric, bro? He's not even close. There's people were saying, arguing that he was one of the best in the world, but he ain't even close. And Bale was the only one, in my opinion, that was actually trying to do stuff. He was actually shooting. He was actually trying to use the speed and all these type of things. But like I said, the midfield was controlled by Paris the whole time. And Tony Cruz, I don't even know why y'all signed him, why y'all gave him that new contract. I thought y'all were going to get rid of him, but they gave him a new contract. But they were just being bullied by this midfield, this Paris midfield in this game. And like I said, bro, this is just all a hoax. Like once VAR came in, the rules come in, and I don't know. I like James as a player, but like I said, once these players would get the ball, the midfield and the defense was on them, and it was just hard from the get go. Madrid had to work super hard, or because they had everything against them. They were not in their stadium. Their fans were not there as well. I don't know. They probably weren't making any noise, and they had a couple of chances by Hazard and by Bale, like I said before, but it's not enough. You can't just have a couple of chances. You got to be clinical. And in these games, the ones that were clinical were Paris Saint Germain, especially in that last goal. You could just see how they were just playing with them. They were taunting them with these fullbacks with Monier and who else was it? Juan Bernat. They were just playing with them. They were just playing around with Real Madrid. And like that's what they are. They haven't started the season well. The only good game they had was against Celta Vigo. Other than that, they tied with Villarreal, and then they I think they beat Osasuna, but just barely as well, and they're not even a top club as well. And they just have problems in defense. They just can't defend, and as well as not defend, they can't not concede a goal. And Thibaut Courtois is not helping them in any way in that certain sense. But we have questions as well for PSG, because like what is gonna happen now that Di Maria put the display in right here in their stadium? What is gonna happen with Real Madrid as well? Like, are they gonna be the same team that they were before? I don't think so. I thought they lost it all once Cristiano left, because they really didn't have anything to begin with. And Navas did the right decision. And most of the good players that are good, they are leaving, and the ones that are there, they're just dead weight. They're not as good as they were before, and Madrid didn't have anything to. They're trying to rejuvenate the squad. They did buy a lot of young players, but you have a manager that doesn't like to develop these young players, in my opinion, and he's not giving them any opportunity. And I'm pretty sure Zidane is not gonna be there. And knowing the big club that they are, Madrid, they're gonna be trying to get Mourinho, because he's the only one that could fit uh this type of, I don't know, profile that they're going for. That they want to be dominant, and they want to have a popular manager, and they want to have all these type of things. But I don't even think it's gonna change either, because Mourinho can only do so much. But we'll see what happens with them as well. But like I said, all the props to PSG, all the props to all the PSG players. Like I said, with this goalie, I really feel like they're gonna be challenging. I may be wrong. I may just be foolish or whatever, but I really feel like they're gonna be challenging. And Madrid is not gonna be anywhere close. Not in La Liga, not in La Copa del Rey, not in Champions League, nothing. Because like their time is over. And Hazard picked the worst time to join Madrid, in my opinion. And they're still trying to recruit players and whatever, but right now it's the season. Right now they got to be performing instead of thinking about who they can get in to try to make the team better, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. It's just that. But like, you can just see also some of these certain points that I want to bring up, like how much this team depended on Cristiano Ronaldo. And like, nothing to degrade him or not say that he's not that good, but I felt like the team was pretty good as well as with him in. But like, this team sort of depends on him, because he's the one that really does show up. He's the one that really does put the team on his back, and he actually tries to make things happen. And the team also as well, they react to it, because he's kind of a leader, and they want to do their best. They want to work towards getting those goals and like being the best in Europe and whatever. But this is just like what I have to say. It's all a hoax, because the only good one there was Cristiano, and once he left, their quality was gone. And at the same time, Cristiano and Juve is the same thing, because Juve isn't up to par with how Madrid was with the players, and he's also suffering as well. He also tied today as well, and like the last minute by Hector Herrera, and I feel like his career is also slipped, because he chose a club that does do good business, but they get a lot of free transfers, and they have to pay high wages for that. So it's hard to get them off their wage bill. But whatever. Like I said before, I feel like this thing is a hoax. This is all a fraud with the Modric stuff, because how are you gonna win the Ballon d'Oro and be the worst, have like the worst season in your career for like the past I don't know how many years? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like I heard it from Stephen A. Smith, where he talked about that we're rewarding mediocrity, because like where you don't win, you just want to award them because they did so good in 1 year. And Man United as well, like they're probably on their high horse saying that, oh, we can beat them, but Real Madrid can't beat PSG. Well, Man United ain't nothing, right now they're still in Europa League or something. They ain't even in Champions League anymore, and they ain't gonna be fighting anything. They can't beat this team as well. They had a lot of problems as well in that game. And just to state the fact, they didn't even have Neymar in this game. They didn't have Cavani in this game. They didn't have Mbappe in this game. That's just even more salt in the wound, because they couldn't even beat this team without their best players. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really take that much to beat Madrid nowadays. Osasuna can beat them. I don't know. Villarreal could probably beat them. All these teams could probably beat them. The one that's gonna be fearing for his job is Zinedine Zidane, and we'll see what he does, because this is mostly his fault, but we'll see what he can do if he can put this team right back into gear. But this is just all I gotta say. Hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe to the channel, and peace out.